Hello, yes, and welcome to the January 2021 edition of the Sydenham Arts Live-streamed Podcast, where we talk all things Sydenham, Lewisham and Beyond. I'm your host, Angela Eyton, and tonight we are joined by three spectacular guests. We have Mark Stevenson from the critically acclaimed theatre company Teatro Vivo. Coming to us from Heart and Soul, the award-winning arts-based charity, we have Meg and Ono, and we also have Joseph Ijoyemi, Lewisham's very own nationally and internationally celebrated artist. So, for those of you watching tonight via the live stream, feel free to say hello, let us know that you're out there. It's always nice to know. And if you have any questions for our guests as we're going along tonight, please pop them in the chat and we will try to ask them as we go along. Yes, and Happy New Year. Yeah, it might be the 26th of January, but we can still say that. That's the rule. It's still January. We can still say it. Happy New Year. Okay, now before we head over to meet our first guest, we asked some of our guests from 2020 to make some predictions about the year ahead. 2021, what do you have in store for us? So let's listen to a couple of our previous guests and hear what they think 2021 is going to deliver for us.
In 2021, I predict that we will continue to find more and more creative ways in which to inspire ourselves and each other.
So in 2021, I predict that there won't be a vegan left in London who's not doing yoga with Adrienne on YouTube.
In 2021, the event that everyone will remember will be when they get vaccinated against COVID-19. So yeah, get vaccinated.
In 2021, the event that everyone will remember will be sitting at home in their pyjamas, staring at their phone, watching the ever-changing, absolutely crazy news of the world that's going on outside.
In 2021, my favourite guilty pleasure will be playing Fortnite online and hopefully clocking up those victory royales in solo mode.
In 2021, my favourite TV show, which is Schitt's Creek, will change their mind, realise they made a massive mistake and decide that they have to make a season 7 and they need to make it quick and get it out while we're all in lockdown.
In 2021, I hope that things will eventually be safe enough for us all to be able to meet each other in person and be able to smile at each other fully without having to hide behind a mask, literally or metaphorically.
In 2021, I really hope that it will be safe enough for children to go back to school and play with their friends and learn like normal, and we can all hug each other.
Oh, yes. Thank you, Julie, and thank you, Emmy, for sending those in. I think we can all relate to some of those, and thanks for your hopes for the year as well. Yes, fingers crossed. We will have some other predictions from other previous guests coming up later in the show. But first of all, our first guest is an established actor and director and is joint artistic director of the Deptford gem Immersive Theatre Company Teatro Vivo. Teatro Vivo are known for bringing theatre to where you would least expect it and truly transforming spaces like supermarkets, public squares, cafes and the streets of Deptford into magical theatrical landscapes. Community is absolutely at the heart of the shows that they produce, and their up-and-coming plans are no exception to that. Yes, tonight we are talking to the one, the only Mark Stevenson. But before we head over to speak to Mark, let's take a look at Teatro Vivo in action.
Friends, English countrymen, lend me your ears. I'm in somewhat of a predicament. My name's Will Shakespeare. You may know me, I don't know. I used to be a playwright, actor and poet many years ago. But the good citizens of this place have weaved their magic to bring me back to life in order that I may write a sonnet in glory of this place.
Saints have hands that pilgrims' hands do touch, and palm to palm is holy palmer's kiss.
Once more to the breach, dear friends! Once more!
Oh, God, that I were a man! I would eat his heart in the marketplace!
Nay, but Beatrice, We bathe in pools the community saved, read in library and view Havelock art. The high street we walk is edible paved. Once a canal, now South Circular starts. But the people who live in Forest Hill make it so special, and always they will.
Okay.
Hello, how lovely to be here.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for joining us. We chose that clip as it name drops Forest Hill, which is lovely. And a large proportion of your work is made for the local area and really energizes the places that you bring your work. And I was wondering, does the space always inform the work, or do you feel like you can always put a show in? Someone says to you, Romeo and Juliet in a phone box, you're there.
It's a mixture of both those things. So it's that it always does inform it. So whatever we take, they'll be shaped by the space we're in. So the things you just saw, we'd kind of wandered around Forest Hill and figured out what spaces would be best for each story, or what stories could work in those spaces. So we adapted them specially for there. But also then, if we then did that on Sydenham High Street, we would equally find some other spaces, and the scenes would all change and adapt. So every show that we do works with the space, but can adapt to wherever we end up.
Okay, wow. And with your with one of your up and coming shows, Common, that's definitely inspired by the space because it's about Sydenham Common. And I was wondering, what was it about that particular place that has inspired you to create a show about it?
So a bit like Much Ado in Forest Hill, you just saw, that was an idea that came from the Forest Hill Society originally. And Forest Hill Society then spoke about Sydenham Common, which, even though I've lived here for 16 years, I knew absolutely nothing about. And they said there's this amazing story about Sydenham Common. So we always started looking into it. And it's kind of astonishing. So the whole area that's now Sydenham and Forest Hill, kind of on the sort of upper Sydenham side of the railway tracks, really, a little bit over to Mayo Park. But that was all common land. And there was pitched battles that happened, so to keep it as common land. So common land, it turns out, I didn't even know this at the time, it was always owned by somebody, but everyone was allowed to go and farm on it, or take wood for their fires, or just bring their cattle up to feed on it.
Oh, right.
And in the 1600s, some people wanted to sort of close it down and stop people doing that. So they started to fight for it. So the people of Sydenham got together, and there were pitched battles where the people who wanted to make it into their own land, who were associated with King James, they would kind of dig up ditches to stop the cattle getting there. They put up fences, and then the people from Sydenham would go and rip them down and fill in the ditches. And then there was some of the landowners were killing the locals' cattle, and there was a local bishop called Colf, who the school and all those kind of things are named after. He started illegal proceedings to try and protect the land, but that didn't work. So eventually about 100 people from Sydenham marched to the king, who was in Tottenham at the time. I don't know what he was doing there. And they went to him and asked him to let them keep the land. he said they could, but still there was a few years of wrangling that went on. But they managed to save Sydenham Common at that point, but that kind of continued up until the sort of late 1700s. There was more. So there used to be a massive festival that happened on Sydenham Common that everyone came out from the city to. It was drunken and debauched, and it was the kind of the party place to come to. Even the waters in Sydenham Wells were that's where you went if you wanted to get a bit tipsy, because the lady who sold the waters put a lot of alcohol in it. But then there's a man who built a road that goes from Forest Hill to Honor Oak Roads, it's called now. It was a track at the time in the late 1700s, and he started to again enclose the land. And some people from Bell Green went up to face him, and he shot them and ended up killing one of them. He's the man who shot this landowner is known as the father of Forest Hill, because he developed what then became Forest Hill and Sydenham and all the housing around it. But there's been these kind of constant battles to keep green spaces in the local area that seems to keep being reflected. If we think all the amazing green spaces that are there, from Mayo Park was built around that time once the enclosures had happened, to even places like Millennium Green, where that reclaimed tennis court is there because local people got together and made sure it could be there. So there's still continuing fights, like what's happening up in Upper Sydenham with the trees and the Hillcrest Estate and all those places. There's always something going on. And we had a lovely time going around pre-pandemic, speaking to people about what they love enough to fight for, and just chatting to people in Forest Hill and Sydenham about it.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, to put that all together in a massive show.
That's incredible. So every time when you see something that's called such and such common, that would have been land that at one point was just everybody's land, and you could have taken your cows there. So
it's weird. You weren't it wasn't your land. So that's the thing I got a bit confused, is that we think common land, it belongs to everyone. It didn't. It belonged to a landowner.
Right. Okay. Sorry. Yes, you did say that at the beginning. Okay. Belonged to a landowner.
But you have a right to take a certain amount of cattle or take certain amount of things from there. You can't take too much. It was quite an amazing system. You were allowed, sometimes there was even people whose job it was to work out how many cows you were allowed to have there for a year or not. So
wow.
Yes, amazing.
Okay. And you might not know this yet, because I know this show is sort of planned for 2022, but
yes.
Do you know what will we see, sort of some of the historical parts of this, or will it be more focused on the conversations that you had with people now about what they're willing to fight for, or will it be a combination?
Our plan is there'll be a combination of all of those, that we're going to try some massive areas. You think it's the whole of Sydenham and Forest Hill. We want to take audiences on journeys around that whole space, so they get an idea of how massive the common was, and see bits of the history, but bits of current protest and bits of all the environmental protests that's sort of happened since the 1600s in Sydenham and Forest Hill.
Incredible. Yeah. And you mentioned the Forest Hill Society, and they do a lot, don't they? They do a lot to try and protect the local area, actually. So
and the Sydenham Society as well, both do amazing work to keep things. There's lots of things that wouldn't be here if it weren't for those two societies.
Yeah, which is incredible, really, because also it means that they're kind of fighting that fight, and hopefully less people are getting shot involved in those fights these days. Okay, and but you're also working on a project for this year, which is the Maze, which you're aiming to perform in Beckenham Place Park in September.
That's right.
And it's based on the French novel Dangerous Liaisons, and it's described as a costume drama with a difference. Would you mind telling us a bit about that, and what is the difference?
Well, so we make theatre in non-theatre spaces. So we don't take people into theatre buildings to sit next to each other, which in these COVID times is tricky at its best. So we were looking at ways of making something where the audience feels safe, because quite a lot of our shows, you have to kind of cram into different places or find your way in and make sure you're in amongst the audience. So we decided that every member of the audience and every cast member would be in a 2-meter hooped skirt or jacket, so that actually the social distancing will be already there, inbuilt, so you don't have to worry about it when you're watching it. And hopefully you'll look pretty amazing at the same time.
Yeah, that's cool. And you're looking for a partnership. That's right, isn't it? For the hooped skirts. So
Yeah, we're trying to find local colleges or institutions who might want to help make those skirts with us. We're trying to find ways to do that, and we're going to have to create a lot of skirts. So if anybody has any brilliant ideas, we'd definitely love to hear.
Okay, great. And so with this show, the audience decisions impact the storytelling, and so you said that they've got the chance to for a happy ending or to ruin characters' lives. I don't know if you've done anything like this before, but in your experience, do audiences usually go for the ruining of lives or the happy endings?
Usually the happy endings.
Oh, okay.
We do quite a lot. So all of our shows, we have a structure for the shows and we have scripts for the shows, but we also have to go with whatever the audience come up with in the moment. So there's always some element of improvisation. And shows where there is the kind of choice and decision like that, I would say out of 10 performances, 8 or 9 people would go for the happy ending, and the other 1 or 2 people would go for the more negative ending. And
oh, wow.
I hope that's a reflection of the world, that people want a happy ending and want nice things to come to people and who aren't themselves.
Yeah, for sure. That's great. That is lovely to hear. Okay, so 2 of our younger listeners, Jazz and Holly, they are 6 and 8 years old. They write in with some questions for the grown-ups, and the theme was New Year for these questions. So I have one of them here that I've just pulled out at random from the bag beside me. Oh, okay. Yeah, and this is a great question, and it's, if you could do anything this year, what would you do?
Oh, hug people. Hug people. It's going to be hug people. I miss hugging and shaking hands and saying hello to people.
Yeah, fair enough. I think we could all relate to that. Yeah. Hugging. Well, fingers crossed there's going to be plenty of hugging ahead in 2021. Thank you, Mark. Thank you for joining us this evening. No problem. It's been an absolute pleasure. All fingers crossed and toes crossed for September show. And good luck with everything.
Thank you very much.
Thanks. Fabulous. And if you'd like to keep up to date with everything that Teatro Vivo are doing, check out their website and their socials. They are very exciting. So, okay. Now, we couldn't possibly see the new year in without a visit from our favourite local Hollywood legend. And it seems that they might be even more local than usual at the moment. That's right. Just last week, one of our previous guests emailed me to say that they had spotted our man driving his quad bike on the streets of Dulwich. Not going too fast, but looking absolutely furious. I'm sorry, I couldn't resist that. But it's a true story. So, and we wouldn't expect anything less, would we, from our man Jay? So, for this next game, all our guests have to do is listen to the song and tell me what the song is. There is a point for the song title, the artist, and the year that the song was released. A guest must be the first to buzz in to answer, and they get a chance to guess at all 3 points. Opponents can steal if there is a hesitation. Okay, are we ready? Let's bring those guests in.
Jason Statham sings to the nation.
Hey, hello Ono, hello Meg.
Hello.
Hi. Hey, thank you for joining us this evening, and thank you for jumping straight in to Jason Statham Sings to the Nation. Are you both clear on the rules?
Yes.
Yes.
Fantastic. Okay, so in order to buzz in, you're going to have to make a buzzer sound. Ono, please can I hear your buzzer sound first and foremost? Ah, okay, it's a rattle. Okay, great. It's a subtle rattle, so I'm going to have to listen out for that one. Good, like it. Not as much as I like your wig, but I like it. Okay, and Meg, what have you got for us?
I've gone for the classic saucepan.
Oh, okay, Meg's is a very loud one, so I'm going to have to... Oh, no, can you give me yours again, please? Okay, I'm going to be really listening out for that, okay? And okay, lovely, fab. All right, I think we're ready. Let's play Jason Statham Sings to the Nation.
Now, put your hands up in the club. We just broke up. I'm doing my own little thing. Decided to dip, and now you on a trip? 'Cause another brother noticed me. I'm up on him, he up on me. Don't pay him any attention. I cried my tears for 3 good years. You can't be mad at me.
Oh, okay. I thought we were going to get no buzzing then. Meg, what have you got for us?
Is it Single Ladies by Beyonce?
It is Single Ladies by Beyonce, so that's 2 points. Okay, there's another point up for grabs here, and it's the year that song was released. So, oh no, you can steal that point if you get it, but Meg, it's still yours to play for.
I am gonna go 2009.
Oh, it's not 2009, but it's very close. Oh no, have you got any?
I think it might be 2008.
It is 2008. Okay. Right. So Meg's in the lead here with 2 points, but Ono is just behind with 1 point. So it's all to play for. Let's have our next clip.
Clock strikes upon the hour and the sun begins to fade. Still enough time to figure out how to chase my blues away. I've done all right up till now. It's the light of day that shows me how. And when the night falls, loneliness calls.
Oh, that was a bit... Oh, yes. Okay. Oh, no.
Whitney Houston. I want to dance with somebody.
Yes. Oh, no. Oh, my goodness. Okay. And then, but what year?
Think it was 1999.
It wasn't 1999. Okay. There's a chance for a steal here, Meg.
Oh my goodness, I don't have a clue. 96.
Oh wow, no, it was not the 90s. Ladies, it was 1987, harking back. But there you go. Not to worry, we have a clear winner with 3 points. That's right. Oh no, congratulations. This month you are wearing the Jason Statham Sings to the Nation crown. And what a crown to wear it is. Okay, thank you so much. Don't go anywhere, either of you. We'll introduce you properly in just a second. Thank you so much. And of course, we should say a huge thank you to Jason for climbing down off that quad bike and taking some time to record some absolute quality tunes for us. Thank you. Right, now our second guests, who you just met, deserve a proper introduction. They come to us from the award-winning creative arts charity Heart and Soul, who wholeheartedly believe in the power and talents of people with learning disabilities. Like many other organisations, they have had to adapt over the pandemic and have transferred their extensive programme online so that they can continue to provide opportunities for people to discover, develop and share their talent as widely as possible. Yes, we are delighted to be joined by the wonderful Meg Beaumont and the fabulous Ono Daffijay. But before we head over to chat with Meg and Ono, let's have a look at some of what the Heart and Soul participants have to say about them as an organisation.
And William, could you sum up Heart and Soul in one word?
Family, caring. Oh wait, in one word. Oh God. Okay, can I use 2 words?
Of course you can.
Okay. Caring and productive. They help you to achieve your goals, basically, and they're very caring.
Why do you describe Heart and Soul as funny and fantastic?
Because they were happy in natural ways. Because they said, she said, they always help her. I said fantastic because Heart and Soul have given Aisha a lot of opportunity that she wouldn't have been able to access if it wasn't for them. So to me, Heart and Soul was definitely up there and a fantastic organisation. So yeah, we're happy to be part of the Heart and Soul family.
Heart and Soul is fun, creative, great to go to, helpful, supportive.
They support you in whatever you want to do, like radio or being an artist or something like that.
They help you follow your interests.
Change.
Yeah, fantastic. Thank you so much for joining us this evening, Ono and Meg. It's lovely to have you here. And as we just heard, Heart and Soul is incredibly important for many people across the borough. And I'm guessing now with Zoom, probably across the country as well. You're probably reaching out even further. And over lockdown, you've been running the Beautiful Octopus Festival, which you've been running as a company since 1995 and has taken over the Royal Festival Hall at times and was scheduled to take place at the Welcome Collection this year. Obviously, some things happened and you had to move all of that online. First of all, the Beautiful Octopus, it's a great name. What inspired you to create that name? Where does it come from?
We're not quite sure. I'm not quite sure where the name came from. But the idea of the club night came because a group of people from Heart and Soul went on tour to Belgium and they wanted to go out at night, but the local club night wouldn't. The local club wouldn't let them in. So they decided to set up their own club night.
Oh, right, amazing.
Called the Beautiful Octopus Club.
Ah, cool. And they just wouldn't let them in the club?
Yes.
Right.
No.
And okay, cool. And so they just set up their own night. That's amazing. Great. And it's been running ever since then.
And we do have a club night for younger people as well, called the Squid Club.
Oh, how old do you have to be a part of the Squids Club?
It's for young people aged 10 up to 25.
Amazing. So you're squid and then you move on to octopus.
Yes.
Yeah.
Great, perfect. And oh no, you actually ran a baking with Beyonce session as part of the Beautiful Octopus Club last year, which sounds brilliant. And I was reading that you made a Beyonce inspired cake. Firstly, what was this cake? And secondly, what about it made it Beyonce?
Okay, in the cake there was Coca-Cola, eggs, butter, sugar, milk, yogurt, and basically you mixed all the ingredients together. Then you bake it in the oven, and the way it was Beyonce cake was because everyone who took part and who was on a mailing list who received our creative pack. They got this sugar paper that they could put on their cake of Beyonce.
Amazing. So it actually had Beyonce on it.
Yes.
Yeah. And while the cake was baking, there was a dance workshop, wasn't there, where you could learn the single
ladies dance.
Yeah, brilliant. At the same time, while the cake's in the oven, you can have a little dance to single ladies. Great. Yeah, that's a great idea. I think I know quite a few of my friends that would be up for that style of baking. That's for sure.
Yeah, so we've got 140 people who logged in to bake along with me.
That's a lot. That's good going. Yeah, congratulations. Okay, and so 2 of your taking part programs, All Sorts and Do Your Own Thing, that usually run at the Albany, they're now running on Zoom. Can you tell us a bit about All Sorts first? What sort of activities are involved and how people can join in?
Basically, with All Sorts, it happens on a Thursday for 6 weeks, and it's for adults aged 18 upwards, and they get to do music, art, dance, and radio.
Okay, cool. A good mix.
And if they want to take part, they have to go to the Heart and Soul website and click on Heart and Soul at Home. And then you scroll down and you'll get to the All Sorts page.
Fantastic. And how much is it for people to join?
It is free.
Okay, amazing. Okay, great.
And with Do Your Own Thing, it's for young people aged 10 up to 25, and they get to do radio, art, music, and DJing, and we currently have a waiting list.
Okay, yeah, I can imagine that's so popular, and you can do all of that online.
Yes.
Yeah, that's amazing.
So we tried to basically just everything that we tried to make sure that online.
Yeah.
Well, we lost you a bit there, Meg. I don't know if you can hear. It's just some breaking up. But we have a lovely picture of you smiling now, freezing on the screen. But I think is this right, Ono? Was Meg just saying that everything you were running in person, you managed to transfer that all online?
Yes.
I was just wondering about DJing and things like that, because it's so music orientated, how people are doing that. That's incredible.
Basically, some of the DJs that we work with, they have their own decks.
Okay, cool. So they have their decks and they're kind of teaching people through their decks.
Yes.
Yeah, okay, that's great. And you're getting some, hey, Meg's back. Hello, Meg.
Hello. I'm having some connection issues, sorry.
Don't you worry. The internet gremlins, they're sometimes at work, aren't they? As we're experiencing in our lives, probably quite regularly. Just wanted to say that on the chat, we're getting a lot of love for the Beyonce baking and dancing. It's a great idea. And also some love for your steel during Jason Statham sings to the nation there, Ono, as well. Some appreciation. Okay, and throughout lockdown, Ono, you've been running your own interview series, Ono's Interviews, and you ask people to sum up Heart and Soul in one word, and people find that quite difficult actually, because they want to say loads of words. So I was wondering if you both could sum up Heart and Soul in one word each, please.
how to sum up Heart and Soul in one word is different.
Okay. And Meg?
And I would say surprising.
Ooh, definitely. Those words leave you like, oh, I want to find out more about that. Good choice of words. Okay, so we have another couple of listeners, Jazz and Holly. They're 6 and 8 years old, who also have a very good choice of words. And they have written in some questions. I've just pulled out 2 at random. So let's go. Oh no. I'm going to come to you first with this one, which is, what's your favourite month?
April.
April, no quite. That was so quick as well. Any particular reason it's April?
Because that's the month that I was born.
It's your birthday month.
Yeah.
Are you the kind of person that celebrates your birthday all month?
If I did have the chance, I would.
Yeah, my brother's a bit like that. He starts texting me at the beginning of the month, like, it's my birthday. Okay, great. Meg, next question. They're on fire, these kids this week. So if you could go back in time, what year would you go back to?
Oh my goodness, that's an amazing question. I think if I was going to go back in time, I would go back to before the years were numbered and go back to like caveman times.
Yeah. Okay. Any particular reason caveman times?
I just think it's probably the most mysterious, isn't it?
Yeah. And maybe you could feel like you'd really see how things started, you know. Okay, great. Okay, well, thank you so much for joining us this evening. You've been fantastic. I love your wig, Ono. I love a good wig. So thanks for wearing that.
And as well, if the listeners want to find anything else about Heart and Soul, you go to our website www.heartandsoul.co.uk.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Brilliant. Well, thank you again. Have a lovely rest of your evening, and lovely to meet you. Take care.
Bye.
Bye. Fantastic. And yes, like Ono says, if you want to check out anything else to do with Heart and Soul or find out how you can support them at all, get onto their website. All right, fantastic. It's time to meet our third guest. So our third guest is a local artist that since starting their professional career in 2015 has taken the London art scene by storm. In 2015, via the Art of Angel exhibition, he had a piece of art displayed at Angel Tube Station, and that's where the buzz around his work started. Since then, he's held a solo exhibition in Chelsea, worked with organisations such as Lewisham Council in conjunction with Brown Jewel, Greenwich Council, My Runway Group, pop-up store in Carnaby Street, and Raw Labs. And each of these projects has been related to Black history, Black culture, or the Black experience in some way. And in December, just gone, they worked with the Tate Britain, producing a collaborative work called Scandimorph. Their passion for art and community has inspired them to think about art beyond the pandemic and how we can use that art to help with the healing. Yes, it's the one, the only, Joseph Ijoyemi. But before we get chatting to Joseph, let's have a look at the joy his work brings to others.
What we're going to do today, Dago, we're going to take this piece to the client. She hasn't seen this piece. She recently done a DNA test to find out where she's actually originally from in Africa. Overall, she's 73% West African. She wants a piece that reminds her of Africa.
Okay.
Yeah, so anytime she sees it, it's something that it just touches her in a different way. Hello. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good.
89% African. So I am 50% Nigerian, like 50.1%. I have to put in the 0.1 because every time someone tries to tell me I'm not Nigerian, I'm like, I'm more than half Nigerian. And then there's some, it didn't tell me where else, but it said West Africa was like 10%, and Sierra Leone was another 10%. I'm really excited. I've been waiting for this for 2 months, and this is the only one, and nothing else exists in the world.
You ready for this?
Yeah.
You know what it is? If you don't like it, I'm going to jump out the window.
There's no
Oh, damn. Oh, damn. All right, cool. Are you ready?
That is so beautiful. I love the way you did her. In the gold. I'm so happy. You know, like when you're not even like jumping up and down because it's like so.
Yeah.
It just fits.
Yeah.
So we like it.
Yeah. Honestly.
Congratulations.
Hey Joseph, thank you for joining us.
Oh, thank you. Thanks for having me.
Absolute pleasure. Thank you. And so in the last 5 to 6 years, you've been quite busy, haven't you, it seems? And as well as exhibitions, you do personal commissions, as we just saw there. You've got another video of your impact of another commission with a gentleman that people can see on your Instagram and website. And what really stands out from both of these is the level of connection that the people feel when they receive the piece of art that you've given to them. And I was just wondering how you managed to get that level of personalization or level of connection with someone who you might not know, or and you haven't lived through their experience. Like, how do you achieve that?
Well, that's a good question. I think the experience kind of starts with me just being an artist and me painting, and I had to find a way to express that things that I've seen, life experience. So I try to portray what I've experienced in my painting. And once I've understood how I could do it for myself, I was also then able to do that for others. And that could easily be from just having a conversation with people, what they've been through and what they've seen and what they've experienced. And it can just be a two-way conversation. And once the conversation goes, then there is creative ideas in my head that I try to note down. And also it could also be from just images of that person. There's been many times that when I speak to someone who wants me to do an art piece for them, I normally ask for various pictures in their past. So it could be from when they were young, maybe they've been traveling, things like that. So I collect all these images, and then I then kind of put myself in their position, if that makes sense, and then start creating art pieces from there.
Ah, right, amazing. So you're having to feel what they've felt to
That's
then
right.
create something that they can also relate to, like that.
Exactly.
That's a real skill. And you're currently working on a series called Mandem Don't Show Feelings, which we've actually got a couple of pictures of some of the pieces from that now. We've got In a Bubble and Holding In. So could you tell us a bit more about this collection, sort of what it is and why it's important to you?
I'm currently at University of Arts Chelsea, and a project that I thought that it's been spoken of, but maybe not enough, and I thought maybe I could probably share this through art pieces, and I called it Mandem Don't Have Feelings, series. So there's various different art pieces, and I've already started the two art pieces that I've shown you. And so Hold It In is basically about mental health in Black men, and also toxic masculinity. It's a way that, you know, even I, when I was younger, have experienced it and been through that myself. And it's not something that we discuss a lot. When we have pain or when we go through stuff, we struggle to share that with our peers, or we struggle to share that with other people because of our ego. And I create these pieces where I wanted it to be a dialogue about it, you know, where there's a platform for Black men to talk about stuff, things that they're scared to talk about. And it's funny because you'd be surprised when people share these things that others have gone through it themselves, but it's just the fact that we never speak about it. So it's one of those things where I wanted this project itself, when people see it, is that they're able to relate, they're able to have a conversation behind these art pieces, and that's the reason why I'm still currently working on it.
Yeah, amazing. So they're like the catalyst for the conversation.
That's correct.
Brilliant. And as we just saw there, actually, your work makes a unique use of color, and like you've chosen to use like bright blues or bright reds and things, and in different places on the face. And again, what kind of inspires you to use a certain color for a certain picture or a certain person?
I think for me, I love colors generally, and I think what kind of identifies me as an artist is the fact that I use bright colors, you know, the bright reds, the bright blues, and I love doing that in all my work. I try to, anyways, to do that in all my work. And for instance, with the pieces that I have done, it's you can see the fortress on their heads, which is actually gold leaf. So it's gold leaf, and it's basically covering the head, and also it is a shape of a crown. Now, what these pieces kind of sort of represent is that, you know, when a man has a lot to say but keeps it in the mind, is to have a fortress around them to protect their feelings, to protect what's going on with them, and basically focus on the outside of things. You know, maybe their passion of maybe in their careers or family, but there is still a problem, but they refuse to expose that. So they have that crown, that fortress around their head to cover that. So that's kind of sort of how I wanted my work to look like, as well as still embed and have that colorful feel to it, the brightness of it. Yeah.
And the crown features in some of your other work as well, with a literal crown on. And is that because of a similar idea, or is that something different?
It's slightly different, but I feel like I've noticed even myself when I'm painting and stuff, is that I do have a lot of crown significance in my pieces. And it still kind of represents, you know, regardless of what the piece is about, it means that that person who's wearing the crown is still a leader. It's still the person is beautiful, you know, and I think that's the reason why I still have that sort of crown theme mostly in all my pieces.
Yeah, it's funny you say beautiful. There's a lot of love coming in on the chat for your work as well. Right from the first clip, people are saying how beautiful it is, and we've actually got some questions coming in for you. One question is, what art materials do you use?
Oh, good question. I use various type of art materials. So I use mainly acrylic paint. I also use it's mainly acrylic paint, but I use different mediums. So I could probably have heavy gel mixed with my acrylics just to create a thicker medium. And I can paint on any sort of platform. So it doesn't have to be canvas. It could be on a board, it could be on a tree plank or something. As long as I can paint in a flat surface. I'm also working on sculptures at the moment as well. So part of the Man Them Don't Have Feelings, there will be a sculpture that comes with it as well, part of the series. So and it's looking really amazing at the moment. So hopefully I'll get to showcase that as well.
Ah, how exciting! And there's actually another question coming in. So that was from Lily. Thank you, Lily. From James saying that your work sounds spiritual. Are you spiritual too?
Oh, I'm a firm believer in Christ, so I'm a Christian. So in the spiritual aspect, yeah, I'm a Christian and I believe in God. So most of my work, should I say, is inspired by that itself, and it's also based on the things that I've been through, in life, as a young kid, living in London, because I was born and raised in Sweden. So it's like coming here, facing all the challenges, couldn't even speak a word of English, kind of stuff. So it's like, yeah, it's just like a build up, and I found Christ within that, and it's kind of helped my journey in my career as an artist.
Yeah, okay, amazing. And people are saying, I've got Juliet saying that visual art is so important in expressing and connecting and things. And actually that's pretty relevant to a project that you're working on. Because of your passion for the community and art as a healing tool. You and a friend have formed the Collective Makers, and you're planning an event for Black History Month in Greenwich, and that's 2021. Could you tell us a bit more about this event? What people might be able to see, what it's about?
Yeah. I mean, at the moment, it's still relatively new, and what we're trying to do is that me and my business partner, who's also an artist, Sabrina, is to bring the community together, I think most importantly, and also show love to the up and coming artists within the community. I think is very important, especially within the Black community. And so what we're trying to do is that we're going to have an exhibition for the whole month, and then we're also going to have 3 different panel talk where there will be various important key guest members who will join in the panel to discuss the lack of representative of visual artists within the community and the challenges that Black artists are facing. So it's going to be really, really amazing. There's going to be various artists who will be exhibiting their work, and it's basically giving back. I think it's so important to give back to the community and also create an awareness for young people, especially where, we're in a pandemic, especially those, young people who may not understand the importance of talent within being an artist. It's important to just show ways and create paths for them. So, and that's what the event is about. And, hopefully there'll be more information about that on my Instagram page and also within the company itself.
That's great. Yeah, because someone might not even know how to. They might know that they've got some skills, or they might enjoy being an artist, a particularly young person, but they might not know how to direct themselves or where to go from there. You often need somebody that can say that you're good at this and you should try this.
That's right.
Do you have a venue for this event yet, or are you still?
Yeah, it's still undergoing. We're hoping to have somewhere really somewhere in North Greenwich or within Greenwich actually. But there's still more. We're still working on that at the moment. We're still working on getting funding. We're still trying to get other organizations to collaborate with us to join us in this amazing event. And I think it's important that the more people that can support us, the better the event will become. So we're just working on that at the moment.
Yeah, definitely. And that's October. You're looking for that to happen. Right. Okay, yes. Great. Have you seen over this whole period of time, the pandemic, have you personally seen the benefit of art, particularly visual art, with other people at all?
Yes. I feel like one thing that I've discovered anyways, based on the fact that I provide, visual art to others, is that everyone is at home. So it seems like a lot of people are paying more attention to the decoration in their houses and wanting new stuff in their house, new art in their house. So it becomes a bit more, it's like they're paying more attention to their home. And for artists is quite beneficial, because it's now, then we can now provide artwork to others, personalized artwork, in fact. And I think it's a good momentum to have that. And also at the same time, I've also had workshops as well online, where participants can join online, where they have their own art materials, and then I'll go through various ways of creating art pieces, and it's therapeutic, and it's amazing to see people from different backgrounds join in and getting involved. So yeah.
That's amazing to be able to have that reach. That definitely is something that is a positive that has come out, I think, of this time, where we've been able to reach out to people or connect with people that maybe we wouldn't have been able to before. Right. Right, we've got one more question from the chat, and then I must move on to the bag of questions from Jazz and Holly. And we've got a question from James saying, you mentioned about highlighting the importance of the Black artist. Do you also make a movement towards better treatment for Black people on the whole too? And does your art sort of paint that narrative?
That is so important. That is basically the main importance, because of the treatment that Black artists have been facing, and even just Black people generally. I think it's important to highlight that, and my art definitely speaks about that. When I had my solo exhibition in 2018, I called the exhibition Jag heter Tockenbo, which means in Swedish, my name is, and then Tockenbo is in the Nigerian native, live in abroad, from abroad. And the pieces that I had there basically talked about me facing discrimination, racial abuse from a very young age, and feeling the fact that I was alienated, wanting to be white even. And most of my work kind of talks and speaks about that. And so my work kind of talks about that anyways, generally. And I think it's important to make an awareness and educate others to understand, what we have been through, what I have been through is very important. And the event that we're going to have in October will also talk about that as well, especially within the panel talk, where it's so important that we are aware about these things, and we're not shying away to have these kind of discussions.
Yeah, and exactly, and like you've been saying throughout, this is the important thing is to have these discussions for sure. Yeah. Okay, right. I know two young ladies that have some things that they'd like to discuss as well, and they have a question for you. Let's see. This is from Jazz and Holly. They're 6 and 8, and they'd like to know, what month would you most like to be born in?
Oh wow! To be honest, I was born in January. I like January because the month before that is December. So my Christmas presents are quite close. So it will be either December or January. But I'm born in January anyway, so I'm actually okay.
Oh, okay. So you're like, yes, I like being born in January. Yeah. Great. Another person that likes their birthday month. That's a good thing. All right, great. Well, Joseph, thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Thank you very much.
Good luck with everything you're doing. Keep us posted about the Greenwich event and everything
Yes.
like that. Fingers
Thank you.
crossed. All right. Thanks so much.
Bye-bye.
Bye. All right, great. Yes. And if you want to keep an eye out for everything that Joseph's got planned and what he's doing at the minute, and check in with some more of his artwork, he's on Instagram, Twitter, and he's got a website as well that's filled with some amazing pieces. Okay, so I think we're ready for our final predictions for 2021. We've got another couple of previous guests that sent in some predictions for the year ahead. Let's hear what they had to say.
Happy New Year, Angela, and hello everyone at Sydenham Arts Podcast. My name's Bernadette Russell. I've got some answers for you. I've just written down the questions. In 2021, I predict that, you know how people have been doing a lot of Zoom meetings, and so they might have been just getting dressed on the top half, but just wearing pyjamas on the bottom half, so like a really smart jacket suit or a nice top or something, and then just pyjamas. That will continue, and that will become like a really big fashion thing, and even get onto the catwalk. So people will be going out in the street with pyjamas on the bottom half and dressed on the top half.
In 2021, I predict that there will be a lot of fitness equipment available to buy on eBay.
In 2021, the event that I think everyone will remember is when all this is over and we're kind of free to go back to something like normal, although hopefully it will be even better than before. There'll be a hugging festival, a global hugging festival, and that'll be on a date, and then it'll happen every year on that date afterwards. It'll be a massive hugging festival. Everyone will hug everyone. Enemies will hug enemies. People will hug people all over the place, strangers, people they know, apart from people that don't like to be hugged. Of course, they're allowed out of it. They can just like celebrate in another way. So that's what I think is going to happen.
In 2021, the event that everyone will remember will be their first pint back in the pub.
In 2021, my favourite something will be, I'm going to come back to that, I don't know.
In 2021, I hope to dance with my friends in a big sweaty room, or at least talk to them outside of the construct of this never before heard of thing called Zoom.
In 2021, I hope that everyone remembers the good things that happened about 2020, which I know seems quite hard to think about sometimes, but there were good things. Like we all reconnected with people we hadn't got in touch with for a long time. We managed to have a little bit of time to think, some of us, those of us that weren't busy. A lot of people got out into nature, did their gardening, managed to do things that they haven't done for a long time. So I hope that in 2021 we keep the good things that we had about 2020 and remember that it wasn't all bad, and remember what's important, which isn't money and buying stuff, which is being with people that we love and having fun and enjoying beautiful things. I'm going to go back to, in 2021, my favourite cake will be free. Thanks very much. Bye.
Oh, thank you, Leah, and thank you, Bernadette. Yes, please let there be some free cake next year. And I'm very much looking forward to my first pint back in the pub. So I think they've got that one spot on there. Okay, well, thank you everybody so much for tuning in this evening. It's been great to have you here. Thanks for all your questions and for getting involved. Thank you to our brilliant guests. It's been so good chatting to you. Thank you to Mike, who's been on tech all evening this evening. Fantastic. Remember, if you haven't already, please do subscribe to our YouTube channel by clicking the subscribe button, where you can keep up to date with all the exciting stuff that the Sydenham Arts Centre has coming up and going on. We're also on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. We're on them all. So do give us a follow so you can see what we're up to. If you are keen to listen to this podcast again, which I completely understand, or maybe you have a family member or a friend who's like, they're not really a YouTube person, then this podcast will be coming out as an audio version early next week. That's right, we'll be on Spotify, Apple, Anchor, Google Podcasts, and many more. Many, many more. Thank you all so much again. I nearly said Merry Christmas then. Thank you all so much again. No, Happy New Year. Thanks for joining us. Bye-bye.